Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful night, evening, day, wherever you are from. Hope it's wonderful. Hope you're all social distancing and whatnot. We got a crazy versus stream for you tonight, folks. It has been debated for literally over a decade at this point. Goku from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, mostly Dragon Ball Super in this case, versus Superman. And I'm going to introduce all the panels or panelists one by one. And first things first, we got Riot Kitty.
Hello.
How you doing, Riot?
I am doing well.
Give your channel a small plug before we get going.
Well, I'm Riot Kitty. I do art and stuff like that. I'm developing a comic of my own, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. And the next one is making his debut onto my channel for comic streams, or for the Versus stream. And we got Comic Chat.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Give your channel a small plug. What kind of stuff you do?
My name is Danny. My channel is Comic Chat on YouTube. On Twitter is Comic Chats. I discuss mainly DC, Marvel, sci-fi, anything in that genre. I have a show on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called The Chaotic Conversation. Please join me if you can.
All righty. And the next one is also making his debut onto the Versus stream. We got Sean Stackhouse.
What's up, guys? So yeah, you can find me at Sean Stackhouse Reacts on YouTube. I do a bunch of different stuff, like pop culture stuff, comic book stuff, movie stuff. I've been doing a lot of music reactions and reviews, and I just got a new Nintendo Switch, so I've started game streams as well.
All right. And the next one was in the Joker versus Bullseye versus stream, so you all know him. It's the one and only Chad.
Hello, how is everybody? So you can
Good.
find me on my channel. The Chad is a great show. Right now, just due to a recent move, new content has been still getting some new stuff up within the next week or two.
Alrighty. And last but not least, she is a veteran. She actually was in the first Versus stream. Everybody give it up. And I believe she was also in the other, or both Versus streams, so she's a veteran. Give it up for the one, the only Mara Jade.
Good evening, everyone. I told Orange Hat this, but if I'm muted, it's because I don't want text messages to go off during a stream. It'll sound like a vibrator going off. But in the meantime, intro. My channel is Jade Shadow. You can see that in parentheses next to my name. I talk pop culture news, primarily DC, although I will talk about Marvel, and I'll give my 2 cents on the idiocy that is in the news, whether it's movies or SJWs just going full stupid. I don't want to say I don't want to get Orange Hat to get hit with anything. So if I say the wrong word.
That's all right. All right. So before we get this whole thing, the shindig going, everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. Let's sing it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary Jane. Happy birthday to you.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, it is Mary Jade's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mara. And I've even sent her the little tweet, because I make the meme with what's his name from The Mandalorian, Queel. Basically, happy birthday. I have spoken.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so kicking it off, we got Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. We're going to be using his super power set because that is his current mark of power. And we got Last Son of Krypton Superman. So should we use New 52 mold, or what mold would you guys want to put Superman in?
Personally, I would go pre-crisis Superman. But I mean, really any mold that you want to go with.
Yeah, I mean,
How about All-Star
that
Superman?
Oh,
yes.
I mean,
'Cause
we can just end the stream right now if we use
Yeah.
Superman.
we don't want to put him at the too strong a level where he sneezed and literally wiped out a galaxy.
Right.
Because that's, I think, was
So
Golden
I'm-
Age Superman. So we're gonna basically try to make it as even as a fight, or even battle as it is. So which one would you say is closest to Goku?
Put him at his strongest.
Well, then I would
All
say
Superman.
maybe, like Superman. What was that, Chad?
All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman. Okay, or the Superman, from '85, the pre-crisis era.
Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
All-Star Superman,
Really
basically
grew up-
going into his
like
sun,
it-
can't kill him.
Right.
Okay, so here's basically a little bit of background on Goku, folks. Goku from Dragon Ball Z and Super and Dragon Ball manga. He is a Saiyan, which is a warrior race from the planet Vegeta. And one of the cool things about Saiyans is if you get drastically beat to near death and you heal from that, your power level, which is what they call it, your basic strength and all that stuff rises exponentially. Now, this Goku will not have his tail because he lost it as a kid. He had it permanently removed because for Saiyans, during a full moon, they transform into a giant great ape that is called an Ozaru. Yeah. And so that's not going to be available to him. Now, Saiyans also have the power to transform into what's known as a Super Saiyan. They can go up to 3 different levels of Super Saiyan, 4 levels of Super Saiyan. Then they go to Super Saiyan God. And then there's basically a Super Saiyan version of that, which is Super Saiyan Blue. Goku has a wide array of powers. One of them is the Kaioken, and this actually comes in handy with this fight because as Goku mastered the level of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, he also mastered the Kaioken, which when combined with Super Saiyan Blue gives him even greater power. But there is even one more state that he can enter in, but it cannot be triggered willingly, and that is Ultra Instinct. Now, this is basically, it's not exclusive to Saiyans. It is something that any fighter can attain if they have the focus and whatnot. And Ultra Instinct is basically where your body will react and evade any type of attack without your mind thinking about it. So if this fight goes on, which we all know it will, Goku might be put in that position. So does anybody have anything else to add about Goku before we go over to Superman?
Well, I have a question about the last thing you mentioned about Goku. Okay, so where he can evade most anything that comes at him. How does that factor in when you're battling a character that is almost as fast as the Flash?
Basically, it does not matter how fast that person is. When you are in Ultra Instinct, your body, depending on how fast Goku is, and he can also move faster than light. with his instant transmission, because he also has one of those, or that power. They call it in the Japanese manga instantaneous movement. He can focus on the power level of whoever he's trying to track or wherever he wants to go, and he can then put his hand right here, focus, he's there. Now, Goku has actually come very damn near close to mastering this. The way I see it, if he was to master it, he would be able to trigger it willingly, but because it's not something that can be triggered willingly, he will never 100% master it. But there is one drawback to Ultra Instinct. The longer you use it, the worse your body will be crippled after you leave that form. Goku was able to use it several times in the Tournament of Power from Dragon Ball Super, but right when he was just about to win the fight versus the biggest guy in that battle, it crippled him to the point where, if any of you guys saw that in the Japanese dub and the manga, it looked like blood was just gouting out of his back.
And what was that feature called?
It's called Ultra Instinct.
Ultra Instinct. Okay.
It's like when his
Hair
body
turns
moves without.
silver.
Yep. And his hair goes silver, just like the thumbnail shows. That is Goku in Ultra Instinct.
Yeah. I didn't know that what that was actually called, but yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
All right, so I will let who wants to do the intro to Superman. Sean?
What have we decided which Superman we're going with, guys?
I thought it was like. Well, I think whichever ones you guys said, either All Stars or Pre-Crisis, because I'm not really familiar with.
I think All Star. I think All Star is best because
So Superman, pretty much without any weakness at all, then.
Yeah.
Well, we aren't going to be using kryptonite in this battle, so because
So to set the ground rules, there's no red sun and there's no kryptonite. Is that right?
Yeah, there's
No, that
this
doesn't
battle.
really exist in Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
this battle will take place on Earth.
All right, cool. So then we could easily go with pre-Crisis Superman. We don't need All-Star Superman if his only known weaknesses are not actually going to be used.
Nope.
If that's cool with you guys.
So we can't use any of Superman weaknesses against him in this argument.
There's no kryptonite. There's no no red sun. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is just to be sure we're trying to make this one as equal as possible, so we can finally hash this debate.
Cool.
All right. So this All-Star Superman is the one we're going with.
We can.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because keep in mind, this
Alrighty
is a
then.
Superman that can pretty much fly into suns and not care. So
Well, as long as it's not the one that sneezes away galaxies, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to have any weaknesses. His kryptonite and the red sun are not going to, his weaknesses aren't playing a part in this battle. It's going to take place on Earth. So there's going to be plenty of yellow sun. So I think pretty much whatever form Superman we choose is going to be okay. So I'm good with All-Star.
Okay.
So, okay. Winter Riot Kitty, or Riot Kitty. I love calling her Winter Riot Kitty for some reason. But anyway, all right. So out of these two combatants, who would you go with on this fight?
I gotta go with Goku.
All right. Comic chat.
I'm Goku.
Mm-hmm. Chad.
Chad.
I'm a bit torn here because, yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm a bit torn here because All-Star Superman's powers were never to limits. We know kryptonite doesn't hurt him. We know that basically he can fly into suns and use the energy from his body to stabilize them. So we know that he's far more powerful than far faster, far stronger than he's ever been in his all-star state, but we never saw him really push the limits of those powers. So Superman, where all his weaknesses are negated, and that as he continues on, he's growing exponentially more and more and more powerful. I would honestly, Super Saiyan God would have a hard time. So I'd have to give it to All-Star Superman. If he's regular Superman, Goku.
All right. Mara.
Sorry. I'm like, even if it were granted, this is like me not knowing a lot about Dragon Ball Z, so I don't know a lot about characters and their abilities, but just knowing what I know of Superman, even even regular Superman, like Superman, All-Star, pre-Crisis, I would still give it to him. I'm still Team Soups, because even though Chad said that his abilities, at least in All-Star, wasn't tested to the limit, I'd still say it's a Saiyan versus a god, and Superman even I'm trying to come up with like what I'm trying to say here. Sorry. Even with Goku's powers, and knowing that they do cripple him, Superman, it would be a fight, but Superman, I think, would ultimately take it.
Exactly.
Because all Superman would have to
All right, Sean.
Superman would have to do is wait it out.
She's right on my mind path, because I mean, I don't even think you would have to use All-Star Superman. I mean, you just have to look back to the comic book arc, The Death of Superman. You know, he didn't actually die. He went into a state of stasis, where his body was healing. So if even if we're talking that Superman from that comic book, he would just have to wait for Goku to go what was it, Ultra Instinct, and then just start pummeling the crap out of him. And then I think Superman would win pretty easily without having, any type of weaknesses. Because the thing about Superman is, as long as there's no sun above him, and there's no kryptonite, there's no red sun, there's no weaknesses, he's continually being recharged. So he does not get winded very easily. I mean, that was evident in Doomsday's battle.
Okay.
John?
Can I say something?
I want to point out one thing. I want to point out here is that in All-Star, Superman recharged the sun.
Yeah.
This is how much more powerful he is in that comic. It's like at the end, he is the one recharging the sun.
Yeah.
And he's only getting more and more and more powerful exponentially. So that's why I say with All-Star Superman, we never saw him hit the uppers. So yeah, even Ultra Instinct would have a hard time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
All right. Comic, you wanted to say something?
Goku would win because he would see all this. He would get the Dragon Balls, conjure up Shenron, have Shenron to give him the power to defeat Superman. And it would be squashed.
Well,
I absolutely agree with this, because it's a point. I absolutely disagree with that synopsis.
There is one.
I mean, okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So even if Goku does all of this, Superman has no weakness. All of his weaknesses are null and void. So
Shenron grants whoever asks him whatever power they desire.
Yeah,
Goku would ask him.
It can't be a weakness. It can't be a weakness of Superman.
There's always going to be something that's opposite, Sean. If somebody is super strong, there's going to be some other force on the. I didn't interrupt you, Shad. There's always going to be.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Shenron cannot. It was stated in the Saiyan arc at the start of Dragon Ball. Shenron could not grant Z powers the power to defeat Vegeta and Nappa because they were more powerful than Shenron. Shenron cannot.
So you're saying,
True, but Shenron has also had his abilities enhanced.
No. It was specifically
But then
that they cannot wipe them. He cannot wipe them from existence.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about a
Right.
death
But
battle
then,
here?
but then
or-
again,
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
Now let's let Danny continue what he was going on.
I'm cool. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
All right. Well, here is one thing that, I did forget to touch on. Ultra Instinct is not purely a defensive capability, because when Goku mastered it, he was also able to go on the offense. Now, if this fight ever does stretch to where Goku is pushed to that limit, because he has mastered it, we are going at his top tier abilities. There is also one ability that I forgot to mention, and this was on purpose. There is a ability that gods of destruction in the Dragon Ball universe have that causes an instant kill.
Okay.
It's called the Hakai, which basically means destroy in Japanese. This ability, even though Goku is not a god of destruction, he has used it in the manga. It just takes greater focus, and it takes a greater output of energy to actually implement it. And I think, if I remember correctly, because I haven't read the manga, I have read background on it, he only used it once. Now, to basically give you an idea of what the Hakai can do, there is a god of destruction named Beerus.
Yep.
He has actually wiped out another god using this, who was known as Zamasu. He was in the Dragon Ball Goku Black arc from Dragon Ball Super. And this guy is also he's also on god tier mode, he's also in god tier abilities. And all he did was put his palm right up to Zamasu and said, Hakai. And it immediately, Zamasu was gone. Dead, complete, boom. Now, if Goku is led to use this ability, do you think that Superman, even in this all-star mode or body or whatever, do you think he can survive something like that?
That's interesting, but I mean, you also have to take in consideration that Superman has gone toe-to-toe with gods in the DC universe, and he's lived to tell about it. And this is not all-star Superman. I mean, normal Superman has gone up against Darkseid numerous times. Yes, he's gotten his face planted in the dirt multiple times, but he's still walked away, and he's given him multiple beatdowns. So if we're talking all-star Superman, I just don't see how anything could bring an end to, like, even everything that you just mentioned about Goku. That makes him extremely powerful, absolutely, and he's a formidable opponent. But I don't see how that would snuff Superman out.
I guess it just depends on the exact nature of the Hakai technique. I mean, if it's something that, I don't know, it just explodes you, then I think Goku would be able to Superman. Like,
if Goku used the Hakai technique on Superman, it basically just wipes you out then and there. It doesn't even explode you; it just erases you. So
it destroys your molecular structure basically down to your atoms.
The Zamasu effect. rezzed in Tron, where basically you were taken apart.
Yeah.
At a molecular level. So yeah, if Goku used Hakai on, even All-Star would be affected because of its nature. But I can't see him doing it because the thing about Goku is he enjoys fighting too much.
Here's a question.
The only way he's ever killed is to protect the universe or protect people he loves.
Here's a question.
If the fight's over and
or if he was freaking done,
he's going to leave you alive.
Since All-Star Superman is so powerful, and say Goku did use the Hakai, so in this situation, what that might not be instantaneous, since he is like so uber powerful, and he's absorbed suns, recharged suns. So even if he uses that still might give Superman enough time to defeat Goku, even though essentially Goku will have defeated Superman.
Yeah. But there's also something you got to remember about the planet Earth. Even if he is on, because like I said, this is taking place on Earth. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that is prevalent in Dragon Ball Z is when these guys ramp up their power levels, they can literally affect the atmosphere around them, meaning clouds that are very thick can form.
But it takes them
always happens.
It takes them a while to go from level to level. Superman,
actually, Goku, he can transform or all the way up to 3 without much. He can go all the way up to blue instantaneously.
Yeah, I mean, he did it in the Broly movie, basically. He just enjoying fighting, and then he's like, okay.
But I mean, even in the time that it takes him, the short time it takes him to go up to 3, All-Star Superman, I mean, is faster, more powerful than Superman has ever been. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is truly a good conversation because, Superman being All-Star Superman, there's just so like Chad said, there's just so much we don't know about his what he can do and how fast, how strong, and how much. So there are a lot of unanswered questions here.
All right, comic.
In every story, there's somebody of equal or greater power. So no matter how strong All-Star Superman is, there's somebody out there stronger. I'm going to stick to my first thought that if Goku figures this out, because one thing about Goku, he is an idiot on day-to-day life, but when he's fighting, he is a genius. He is a far superior fighter than Superman is, because Superman don't like to fight. Superman tries to resolve stuff peacefully, but then if you get a fight, he does what he has to do. Goku is the opposite. He lives to fight. That is Saiyan by nature. If he discovers and analyzes, which he learns while he's fighting, and figure out weaknesses, he know that maybe fist to fist or power to power, I can't defeat this ultimate Superman or whatever you call him. He will get Bulma somebody to get those Dragon Balls. I believe if he get the 5-star Dragon, I forgot the one, the Black Star Dragon Balls, it's a different kind. I can't think of exactly what the name is. And if he is able to let Shenron come, I do believe Shenron can give him the power equal to or more than Superman to be able to defeat him. How he would do that, because we don't know the extent of this ultimate Superman's power, I don't know.
Well, in GT, basically became Shenron at the end.
Yeah, because GT, he actually fused with the Earth's Dragon Balls. So, but also GT has been proven not to, or has been decanonized.
Yeah, I don't like GT. He gets his tail back on there.
Yeah, he had to get his tail back, and that was the only reason why he was able to go to Super Saiyan 4.
It looks a little bit more aggressive.
Danny, I will agree with you as far as like, the fighting techniques. Goku is a fighter. Superman fights. I mean, he can fight. He doesn't. That's his last resort.
Exactly, and that's the
he
difference.
can. So like if you were to say all of a sudden that Batman had the power of Superman, now Batman can fight. That I mean, Batman would have no question or hinder.
Batman and Goku are alike in their philosophies.
Yes, yeah.
They want to fight. They can fight. Superman will try to resolve something peacefully if he can. He can fight, but I think someone's going to be a better fighter if they want to fight second versus someone who all they do is live the fight.
Well,
that's all Vegeta.
As a martial artist, I'm coming from this experience to say that like if someone's first move is to fight, I think is kind of a fallible mindset, because that does not make them automatically a better fighter. It just makes them more prone to more prone to act out in violence versus, say me in particular. I can only speak from personal experience. My first instinct would be to resolve something first without fighting. But if you back me against a wall, I can fight, and I will take you in. I will take you out.
Yeah.
But just like to say that a negative is, I don't think an accurate statement. I think it's like pretty fallible, as I said. Dude,
I agree with
Superman.
I agree with your statement, Mar. I'm meaning in the comic book world, not in the real life. I have no idea in real life because I'm not a martial artist. I'm saying in the context of the comic book world, Batman and Vegeta and Goku are more alike because they study the different arts of fighting. Superman just mainly relies upon his superpowers. That's what I was saying. In real life, you're probably 1,000% right. I'm talking about as it relates to comic book.
Well, one second, folks. Chad, can you, if you're able to get into the chat of the YouTube, give Soul Assassin your channel name, please.
Yeah.
Or what is your channel name? Again, is it Chad is Great?
Sure. Just
all right. Now, yeah, type it out in the comment section because your audio it kind of hiccuped.
Just a second.
Now, one of the
it's
Mara.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mara, one of the things are to give you a brief background on Goku's mindset. It is a Saiyan's instinct to battle. Now, does that mean that he will want to fight immediate or get super violent? No. Goku actually is one of the literally purest hearted people in Dragon Ball. I mean, even with his instinct to fight, but he also knows when to not fight. He can't, or he will try to talk things down at times, but his first instinct, yes, is to fight, but he can go against that instinct. He has done so. The only time I have ever seen Goku really lose his cool is a total of 3 times, and that was in Dragon Ball when Krillin was killed for the first time, Dragon Ball Z when Krillin was killed for the second time. Krillin is his best friend and also rival from Dragon Ball. And in the Dragon Ball Super during the Goku Black arc, when Zamasu, who was also Goku Black with a switched body, basically told him what he did to Goku's wife and son in that separate universe. Because he actually admitted that he killed Goku's wife and youngest child, and that totally set Goku off. I mean, that was the only time I had ever seen Goku truly go off. Now,
well, that's understandable.
Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
What is his endurance? I mean, like, does he reach a level where he gets tired?
He gets tired, but he can recharge instantly with sensu beans.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is going to be
he just has to visit a magic cat and ask for beans.
Yeah, Corin.
But see, this is the reason, because I mean, All-Star Superman. You know, what the moment that Goku is tired, you know, because Superman has literally no limitations as long as you don't have red sun or kryptonite. So in that instance, he could use that to his advantage.
Okay, but
Superman still gets tired though.
That's a good point, Sean. But
not All-Star Superman. We don't know. Superman, as long as Superman has the sun charging him. I mean, he might get a little winded, but he doesn't actually go down and need a rest.
Yeah.
Never. Not even against gods. He will keep going and going and going until either he puts you down or you put him down.
Well, there's something called internal organs.
But he's a Kryptonian.
Yeah. And then you can theoretically Superman can still
Miss Kitty
off his heart or something like that.
If he even needs food, or if he even needs sleep.
Yeah, that's
Miss Kitty. I can tell you firsthand, you're wasting your breath with Sean. you could point out 10 things, and Superman is going to go to heaven and slap God, and go to heaven and piss on the devil. So you're wasting your breath.
Any of that, but
there is one weakness that Superman does indeed have. Magic. One thing that Superman did, like when fighting Doomsday, because I have read the Superman or Death and Life of Superman, the book.
Yep.
One thing he does when he goes into a fight, he holds back because he knows how powerful he is.
Yes.
And it only took him when he finally realized that Lois was in trouble that Superman cut loose.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of the things that I notice about Superman, he's not a martial artist. He's a brawler.
Exactly.
He's a boxer. So he's basically only going to be throwing knees, maybe, but he's going to be a puncher. And that is an extremely limited fighting style. Believe me, I'm also a martial artist. And one of the things that we're taught is you use everything when you are fighting. Not just your hands, not just your fists. Legs, feet, shins, knees, elbows, all of it. Even your head if you have to.
Oh yeah.
And
like first thing that we're taught is the weakest part, the hardest part on your head is your forehead. The weakest part is the nose. You ever in a bear hug? Forehead to nose. Boom. Take him out.
Yep. Now, Goku, he also is very skilled with anatomy, as most martial artists are. As is Superman. That is also, I mean, Superman can spot weaknesses on people's bodies with his X-ray vision. That is not up for debate. We know that. But if Goku does hit Superman in certain areas, he could literally shut Superman down.
Well, that's true.
Now,
that's assuming that Goku knows Kryptonian anatomy.
True. Now, does anybody here know Kryptonian anatomy?
Well,
no. we would be making the assumption that Goku could figure it out.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, he looks human. You know, like this goes back to the point I was trying to make with Raikkonen, you know, about internal organs. I mean, yeah, he looks human, but on the inside, he's not like us. You know,
we need to also remember, while we're citing Goku's advantages here, we need to basically say his number one disadvantage. And this is something that you don't know if you've only watched the English version of Dragon Ball, but it's addressed time and time again in the Japanese language track. Goku is dumb as a bag of rocks. He is.
When it comes to his normal day-to-day life,
this isn't an actual
Goku is a very simple person. And Riot is right. This is not an intellectual battle by any thing.
In fighting, Goku is.
Well, no. Well, okay. Here's what I think is that Goku, he is not book smart. He's definitely not. But however, he is smart when it comes to fighting. I think best battle that demonstrates this is Goku versus Frieza. He is continuously thinking on his head whenever a situation arises for it. Like he dived underwater and then he was trying to hide from Frieza, and he was charging up his ki to do the Kaioken and whatever and shoot at Frieza. And then they could see that Frieza couldn't sense his energy, so he created smoke screens and like try to charge in on him. Like he is intellectually smart, but he is street smart, not book smart.
Well, and that is another advantage that Goku has.
That's cool, but see the thing one of the things I think that is in the plus column for Superman is, so with the Flash, he moves fast, but he also thinks in Flash time. Yeah. Superman thinks as fast as he moves as well. So, he could be like, 15 moves ahead in his mind than, Goku.
Who told you that? I never read that before.
Yeah, it's in comics, man. It is canon.
I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard Superman tapping into thought processes faster than, or as fast as Flash.
Well, not as fast. I'm not saying that he can do it in Flash time, but he can think as fast, pretty much as he moves. I forget.
I mean, I've seen the Injustice comic where he was going faster than that little squirrely Green Lantern, but yeah.
No, guys, look it up. It is canon. It's not Flash time, but he can think faster than majority.
Like one thing that you've quoted the Zamasu arc in Dragon Ball Super. One thing Goku Black did to Goku was that there's a reason he spelled out that, yeah, dude, I basically murdered your wife and child. He wanted Goku to go off. He wanted Goku to basically come at him and try to hurt him, not kill him. And basically that was Black's advantage. He outsmarted Goku to get him in close and then really mess him up.
Okay.
Goku, he's absolutely smart when he's fighting, but in just about everything else, he is stupid as a bag of rocks, and he can absolutely be outsmarted by someone like Superman,
but Superman is not like Black. He is not. Yes. He is not like Black. I mean, I remember in the Justice League TV show where he's trying to interrogate criminals and he could not frustrate them enough and do that. He's not that kind of guy to get Goku in close and do that, because he's just not like Batman. Yeah. Well, I think that's one thing that I think Batman could definitely do it, but I don't think Superman wouldn't. Superman wouldn't inside Goku's head.
I agree with you, right, Kitty?
So Superman wouldn't do that. So
Superman's not malicious.
No.
So
Batman would take you out.
He can be when you set him off.
Yeah, well,
there's only one thing that truly sets Batman or Superman off, and that was what happens in Injustice.
Yeah.
If you threaten his mom or you threaten Lois, then you're gonna set him off.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, like, if Superman is not like what you said, Goku Black or whatever it was, I mean, like, would he even get Goku to that state? Like, he wouldn't do that. He's not malicious in that manner. So, like, would Goku even get to the point where he would try to take Superman out?
Right, because Superman, like you said, Orange Hat, Superman, one of his weaknesses is that he holds back. He doesn't like to go full on unless he absolutely has to.
Well, no, Goku does it because it's fun. It's fun.
But
Superman
Goku
does
will
it because
cut loose.
Yeah, but
Goku
Superman
will
does
cut
it because
loose if he has to.
Danger.
Right, but Superman is not going to go like full force unless he absolutely has to.
But Goku is going to make him go, because Goku is always testing his limits and always wants to get stronger. So Goku is going to make Superman say, look, I'm going to give you my best shot once for all, and Goku either going to take it or not. Because if he doesn't be able to take it, it's just like Orange Hat said, he can regenerate, or if he take a sensu bean, his power will grow exponentially. So I mean,
yes,
okay,
that's how it works. Those are the rules of Dragon Ball.
Yes, and that is also another thing. this battle, it would be a progressive battle. This battle would not go, or it would not be over in a heartbeat. This is a battle that Goku would start off in his base form.
He sure would.
And he would, and so wouldn't Superman at this point, because this is something that Superman is pushed to, is it not? This All-Star mode?
Yeah.
Goku was shot.
No.
Superman.
Basically, the All-Star Superman is when Superman, he's been exposed to so much solar radiation that his cells are theoretically overflowing and killing him. And as they are growing exponentially, he's growing more powerful.
Yeah.
But towards
basically,
the end,
it's a ticking time bomb as well.
Pretty much.
Cells actually end up regenerating him at the end, and he ends up going into the sun to restabilize it and to fix it. So by this point, Superman is immortal by the end of the comic.
Okay, so logically speaking, on this All-Star Superman is basically he goes into his sun to achieve this form, and his cells are basically regenerating at a rapid rate. Yes,
they're growing and making him more and more exponentially powerful. This is why magic, kryptonite, red sun, nothing can hurt him by this point.
All right, so here's the thing. Going by that logic, your body would, or his body, you wouldn't be able to sustain this. This is basically sort of like Ultra Instinct in a way, because his body is at such a high tier, but as soon as it wears off, he is going to be extremely weak.
But that's the thing, it's not wearing off.
Yeah, also
it's permanent.
It's that way like all the time.
So once he achieves it, it is absolute permanent until he dies.
He can't.
Well, that was
immortal.
That was the thought of the comic, that this is going to reach a state where it would kill him, and that's the thought. And it's basically like he's going through now the 12 labors of Hercules to make his peace.
Yeah, essentially.
But by the end of the comic, he's actually immortal. He basically, Lex tried to destroy the sun to explode the solar system as one big middle finger to Superman, but Superman, at the point where he thought he was going to die, flew into the sun, and he's in there alive, fixing it and regenerating it at the end. So by this point, he's immortal.
Yeah.
Okay, so this All-Star Superman is basically God tier.
Yeah.
Now, can he feel pain?
Yes.
He can.
He can. Okay. Or has he been injured in this state?
I don't think he's been hurt, but not injured.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the same thing, though?
Well, no.
No, injured carries on greater.
A pair of Kryptonians were able to wind him because he let them, because he was suffering, and that basically he just, instead of beating them, he just needed for them to see, like, okay, you know what, we're dying and we need Superman to save us. So he was basically just waiting them out, instead of just pummeling them then and there.
All right, so here's how I see this fight going on. It's going to start progressive. Now, there's going to be something that triggers both of them to want to fight each other. You don't know what, because both are too freaking pure-hearted.
Yeah.
But something happens to trigger them to fight each other. Goku's going to be testing Superman's limits, and Superman is going to be testing Goku. And as they go on, they're going to have points where one's going to have to get a little bit of sun to charge up a little more. Goku's probably going to instant transmission over to Korn's tower to get some sensu. But as the fight progresses, Superman will be not yet All-Star mode. He'll be outclassed by Superman or by Goku, possibly in Super Saiyan God mode, just the red, not the blue. Now, this is when Goku or Superman goes to do his little All-Star Gold mode thing. This is where Goku will ramp up even further. He'll go Super Saiyan Blue. He'll even go Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Now, even if he is doing damage to Superman, Superman's going to regenerate. We can all assume that this is going to be the case. Now, if Superman continues to pummel into Goku, eventually, if he allows Goku to breathe, even for just 1 second, could be enough to trigger Ultra Instinct. Now, because, like you guys said, this is an ultimate form of Superman, and he's going to be fighting with all he has. But if he does stop and allow Goku even 1 second, Goku is going to tap into Ultra Instinct, and because he can use both offense and defense, this might carry him to a point where he can do tremendous damage to Superman, possibly even enough damage to knock him out of that state. Would you guys say that is a possibility?
I don't think. Well, once Superman is All-Star Superman, so he can't be knocked out of that state. But here's a question: can Goku breathe in space?
No,
because I mean this does happen on Earth, but I mean, Superman does things in the air, and what if Goku is like, you know, doing his evolutions, and Superman just like grabs him and shoots him right up, you know, and he's not able to take that breath.
Well, to be honest, early on in Dragon Ball Z and them, Goku could not breathe in space. However, when Goku fought against Beerus in Battle of the Gods, and even in Dragon Ball Super's Battle of the Gods arc, Goku was up in space fighting Beerus. So we can assume that Goku can actually fight in space, possibly for a limited time. We do not know the full extent.
Yeah, it's
because Goku did fight in space.
I think it's just as how long as he's in that mode. Like, I feel like that's in his mode, because at the end of the movie, he like collapsed and stuff, and he's like, and then he seemed to be struggling breathing or something like that.
That was because his whole body was winded from fighting against Beerus.
Well, no, like the oxygen was being taken out of his body, like forcefully, like without fighting.
I think it was the God Key that was letting him breathe in space.
Well, the thing is, when he was fighting against Beerus in that final fight, he wasn't in God mode. He was in Super Saiyan mode that was already tapped into the residual God mode. So he wasn't technically in God mode, but his power had jumped to a level.
You're right.
Where he could be Super Saiyan but still equal to that God mode.
Right.
Because that's the thing about Goku. When he is pushed to his limits, he can push past his limits. That is something that Saiyans can actually do, even though it takes radical will to do it. I mean, for anybody who's seen the Tournament of Power with Goku and Vegeta, they were both pushing past their limits all the way through that arc. Goku had Ultra Instinct. Vegeta perfected the Super Saiyan Blue form.
But
like he kind of went Super Saiyan Blue too.
One of the prevailing arguments, you know, in this entire debate that has raged on for, you know, decade, is that okay, so they can push past their limit, but if we're taking Superman's weaknesses out of the equation, Superman does not have a limit.
Superman can hold his breath a long time, but he can't breathe in space.
Yes, he can. There are certain comics that have shown him where he has to have a suit in space, but there are older comics that show him flying from planet.
That's Golden Age. We're still dealing with All-Star.
Yeah.
So All-Star Superman has zero weaknesses. He's in the sun, so he. Can he
breathe in space though?
But he doesn't have. I mean, he may not even have to breathe.
All-Star Superman can breathe in space. This is established.
Okay. So here's the thing. Because it would be no fun to have him just go into space and whatnot, we're going to keep it down into Earth's atmosphere. How about that?
That's all right.
So basically, the way I do see this is Goku is going to get into Ultra Instinct, and he is going to go as much as he can. If he is not seeing any way through Superman, if he cannot beat him, he will go to his last ditch effort. And I do believe that because we do know that that Goku will kill if he needs to. And this is a death battle, so it's not off the table. Goku, in his last ditch effort, will use the Hakai.
And I think Goku will be quicker to willing to kill than Superman would be.
Yes, that is true. Because, again, even though Goku is a Saiyan, even though one of the things that I forgot to basically establish, Goku was sent to Earth basically to prep it for destruction or sale because of Frieza. Now, Goku, when he was found by Grandpa Gohan, Goku was a wild child. He was absolutely ready he was brutal. But it was after he fell out of Gohan's backpack or whatever it was and badly injured his head was when he went docile, was when he went more bright or more high-spirited and
That's probably why I can't really be book smart, because he's brain
He's got the Rocky Balboa syndrome. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Orange Chat, if he's able to transform to the giant monkey.
Oh yeah. If he goes,
what are his chances then?
Problem.
Sorry.
Sorry. With Goku, if he was able to turn into the Ozaru, he would lose against Superman, because Goku never mastered the Ozaru form like Vegeta and Nappa and King Vegeta.
I thought he mastered it whenever because you got to go through that Ozaru form to become Super Saiyan 4.
No,
yes, but that is GT. Now in GT, he only mastered it because his granddaughter was in front of him. When he finally recognized his granddaughter, he realized he could not use this primal state because he would kill her. So that is why he found the will to push through that and to go Super Saiyan 4. But Super Saiyan 4 is not technically canon. It's Dragon Ball Z to Super.
What I will say is that if Goku sees a window where he thinks he can kill Superman, then he needs to pray to whatever god he believes in that he doesn't. Because if you go in to kill Superman and you fail, then
you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, this is the reason why I think that Goku would win. We all know that both of these folks will see a technique and actually want to experience this technique being used against them, heat vision and whatnot. Goku or Vegeta would use his large repertoire of powers. He would actually use his after images. He would use, or basically an after image. We're going to go through a couple of powers that Goku has. He could use the Kamehameha wave. Everybody knows what that is. Well, Mara probably doesn't. It's basically a concentrated energy blast that it does take time to charge up, but it's still very powerful. He can use the Destructo Disc. He has used it, I believe, in Tree of Might, which the Destructo Disc is energy concentrated into a very destructive, powerful disc of energy. That thing can cap off a mountain.
The ultimate pizza cutter.
Yeah, basically. He has used, the solar flare, which is a blinding technique. It's not, or basically however long you're in the sun, you can use it to cause a blinding light. Now, that would not, or it does not use solar energy. It just uses a blinding light. So it would not supercharge Superman at all. Now, there is he can use normal ki blasts or energy blasts. Instant transmission, where he can move faster than light. Now, he can also use, and this is something that both Goku and Superman can do. Now, Goku can take the living energy from pretty much, he can actually draw on universal energy as well. But if he draws strictly off of the planet, it would still be a powerful attack, the Spirit Bomb. Now, I have seen
you probably could draw some
Superman
energy too.
Yes, he can even draw it from Superman as well. This is something that he can do. Superman, I have seen when he is seriously injured, like he took a nuke during the Dark Knight Returns, and he fell down into the earth. He literally drew off of the earth, like plants and whatnot, in order to revive himself.
Who?
Now,
Superman.
Yeah, if Goku is allowed to charge up the Spirit Bomb, Goku would be in trouble. This blast, or true, it didn't kill Frieza, but it wasn't powerful enough. It does lack if there is not enough energy to draw off of.
Yeah.
But Goku has drawn from literally around universes and different planes in order to use the Spirit Bomb before. He is not just drawn from one universe, he is drawn from several. Meaning several planes of existence.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think Superman would allow him to do that. If Superman was dumb enough to allow him to fully charge the Spirit Bomb and he couldn't deflect it, then I agree with you. He might be in trouble. But I don't think he'll stand around and be like, what the hell is he doing? You know?
Well, that's the thing. Superman.
The only thing about that technique, it takes so long to power up.
That is the one drawback to the Spirit Bomb. It does take time. But Superman would be arrogant in a way in this golden form or in his all-star form.
You think?
He would be, yes. I honestly think that he would be willing to allow Goku to do whatever he could because, as you guys say, he's invincible, so to speak, in this form. Yes?
Yeah, but I don't know that Superman would. Superman's never, ever been the type of character to toy with his enemy when the stakes are extremely high. So
exactly.
I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a move that
exactly.
That
this is something we need to also take into account here. This is in Japanese media. It's very normal to let people charge up attacks for drama, but in comic books, the attacks are going to be constant. So a lot of Goku's more effective techniques, he's not going to have time to charge them because Superman is going to be offense, 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 offense.
Yeah.
So I can actually see that even being. I can even see that being a moment like, why isn't this guy allowing me? This was a joke in the Tournament of Power arc where basically Android 17 didn't allow an enemy to transform, and he got chewed at for not allowing this convention to happen. Yeah. So basically, I can see this. It was, wait a minute, why isn't he letting me charge up? Everyone else does.
I don't think he would let him charge up the Spirit Bomb, but if Goku could use the Kamehameha wave in conjunction with the instant transmission like he did against Cell.
He can hide. Like he's done that before with Frieza and Vegeta as well. Like he can hide, he can use a solar flare, stuff like that, just to delay Superman coming after him so he can charge the Spirit Bomb.
There is one problem with that though.
Superman
can hear heartbeats.
Exactly. If you take away his vision, Superman can hear where you're coming from, and this has been in cartoon form.
But the solar flare is basically like you are getting literally your retinas are being blazoned. He will react to that.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
will he though? Because here's the thing: does the solar flare use ki or does it use actual sunlight? Because if it's using sunlight, Goku just gave Superman a power up.
The solar flare is not a power, or the solar flare does not use solar energy.
All right, but
the energy is converted to ki. The energy, solar energy is converted to ki.
But what I'm saying is, even if you blind Superman, I mean, like you said, Orange Hat, Superman's got his hearing; he can hear heartbeats.
Yeah, but you can overwhelm his senses. That's one of his weaknesses. You can overload his senses. If Goku does something that will cause his hearing and his sight to go, I don't know what he could do, high pitch, whatever, but that's part of.
Oh, there are things you could do.
Not in. Well, I forgot. This is Ultimate Superman. So
yeah.
Well, the thing is, in this Ultimate State, you gotta have a theory that there has to be at least one weakness.
Gotta be.
And that is, if this guy has so many powerful senses and whatnot, he's going to have all these senses like super hearing and all this stuff. You're telling me that nobody would try to overpower or give him oversensory stimulation, basically, or overstimulate his senses?
Well, I'm sure that they would try, but I mean, if he is this powerful, who else is powerful enough to really achieve?
And right, and this is Goku, not Vegeta, not Trunks, not Gohan, not Piccolo.
Yeah, true.
It's Goku. He's going to come straight up and try to beat him fighting him. He's not going to try to outsmart him like that.
But Goku also.
Well, he can try to.
But here's the thing: Goku would, or does still have, that one technique, the Hakai, to fall back on. Now, is it strong enough to defeat a person who is constantly in a regenerative state? Honestly, I do not know. But because it has killed people who are far superior, this is literally instant kill.
That's what I said, like towards the beginning, that if he were to use the Hakai, and being that Ultimate Superman, continually regenerates, it would probably be a death scenario for both of them. So Superman, so Goku would probably do the Hakai, and Superman would kill Goku after being affected, but Superman would die slower than your average person. That's kind of, I think, the only way out of this in that type of scenario.
Thing is, if Goku does succeed with the Hakai, Superman would, or he's being erased almost instantaneously.
Right, but how does that work?
Yeah.
But how does that work in that type of form? That's what I'm saying. We also
got to keep in mind that Vegeta was able to fight off Toppo's Hakai.
Like here's an example. Here's an example. You saw, and I know this is a different universe, but you saw like in Infinity War and Endgame, when Thanos snapped, how quickly everybody was dusted. But when Thanos got snapped, it took some extra time for Thanos to actually dust.
That was for dramatic effect. That wasn't.
Yeah.
But the point is still the thing.
The better thing you would have used would have been the Peter Parker part.
Okay.
Because Peter Parker's body, because they actually said Peter Parker is as powerful as his body is, his spider sense is literally fighting off the snap.
Yeah.
It's just that it couldn't hold it off indefinitely, and that is why he eventually faded.
That's right.
Comic is, or Dan is right, because of Endgame, that was dramatic effect, because let's face it, you want the big bad to go last.
Well, sure.
But yes, the Hakai would basically, it's an instant dusting, basically, to put it in Infinity War terms or MCU terms. It is an instant dusting. There's no eerie silence. There's nothing like that. You're going like that. You're gone. So this is indeed a very good fight, folks. I mean, so with all of this final tally, folks, as basically has been, like we said, debated for well over a decade.
Yep.
And because Goku's character has constantly evolved through the years, because there's no doubt, in earlier iterations of fighting, Goku would lose. He had never attained, or it is only now that Goku has Ultra Instinct and the Hakai that I believe that he would finally beat Superman. Even this all-star form where he is constantly regenerating, it would, or because of its instantaneous kill, and because of its Now, yes, Chad, I do want to touch on that one thing. Toppo's Hakai is also because Toppo has the potential to become a god of destruction. He is not a god of destruction. He had the potential, it was just never bestowed. That is why Vegeta, as strong as he was, tapping into Super Saiyan Blue mode, which is a god's tier as of itself, he was able to find ways through it and around it. But you also got to remember, this is Vegeta. He has done a lot crazier things.
And we know that
but Goku
and Vegeta is going to get stronger because the angels are stronger than the gods of destruction. They haven't even tapped into what their power level is. So I'm sure as Goku and Vegeta keep going, they're going to tap into whatever power level those angels have, and then that's going to be another form. We don't know how it's going to look. We've seen the art form of Goku in all white with the real puffy hair like Super Saiyan 3. I know we all should have seen that.
Oh, yeah. Those were Super Saiyan 5 fan arts and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. The silver monkey.
Yeah, so we don't know if it's going to be that or whatever, but I feel like we're going to see another form.
So potentially, yeah.
This lasts, like a long, long time, which, it has the potential of doing, then, it could be anybody's ball game. I think Superman's best bet would probably to get in there early and do it before Goku evolves very far, because Superman is going to go into it as All-Star Superman. He's going to have like all of his stuff right away, but the thing is, Superman, like we've said, Superman does not want to always, he doesn't intend to kill, he holds back. So if Superman in this instance went in and he did not hold back, then I think it would be over really, really quick.
If he holds back and he does not kill Goku, the next battle is going to be twice as hard because Goku power is going to increase. Yeah. So
I agree. You're absolutely right.
I mean, that is also another advantage that Goku has, is because of his Saiyan biology, his body his power and his body exponentially rises in power and whatnot.
And this is a slower rate than regular humans do too. So he's going to be around a long time.
Yeah. And I think Saiyans live probably, like 150 years in human years?
I'm not sure, but I know they age differently.
Yeah. They age differently.
Yeah, they don't really like the Saiyan's hair never changes. Like, he can grow beards, but you don't cut it or anything like that.
Pure-blooded Saiyan's hair doesn't change.
I read somewhere that the half
unless of course they're subject to extreme stress, like with Paragus.
Have you heard that, Orange Hat?
Say what?
I've heard that the half Saiyans are potentially stronger than the full Saiyans.
Yep.
That was established early on, yes. There are hybrid Saiyans that are hybrid to humans.
So
they do have the potential, yes. Potential. But it does not, or because we do know that Gohan versus Cell, Gohan surpassed Goku. Now, but that is also because...
And also Trunks and Gotenks, damn near born Super Saiyan. They were Super Saiyan as kids.
Yes. Now, that's the crazy thing about Goten, was because he didn't require anger to transform. The power, or as Goku says, the power comes in response to a need, not a desire, when it comes to the transformation of Super Saiyan. And Goten, it just happened. He was training with his mom, Chi-Chi, and he went in for an attack, and he automatically somehow transformed into a Super Saiyan.
I think joking around with Trunks.
Yes. Go ahead.
I said I thought they were just joking around with Trunks, and they were kidding around one day and transformed. It's how I remember it.
Yeah, I think Trunks was training with Vegeta, actually.
Yeah, the Trunks.
Yeah.
You were like, when the hell did this become a kid's plaything?
Yeah, exactly. He was training in the gravity room, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just go super. Now, we don't know exactly how this Trunks' Super Saiyan transformation occurred first, but because you know that this is something that he did or that he's already done, they've basically made that a subtle establishment in the gravity room. This is something that Trunks has known how to do.
Hey, Chad, really quick. Do you remember, does it mention in the comic book arc how old All-Star Superman is? Because he also ages much slower than humans as well. So I don't
basically
remember.
What's he's the average age of story with much solar radiation at that point. He's immortal. There was a follow-up. I never read it. I don't know if it was just the author just stating that, you know what, this is what happened afterwards, if this was an actual comic. But apparently Lois Lane was frozen cryogenically, choosing to wait for Superman to return, and he returned after about 1,000 years, which it took to stabilize the sun after what Lex did to it. And basically after that, basically Lex goes through an arc as well, and Lex's final act was to come up with a way for Superman to have children with Lois. And basically this was his final legacy as an apology for what he did. So when Superman returned, him and Lois were actually able to have children. But yeah, he is immortal by this point. He is not aging.
Any kid he has with Lois Lane would kill Lois Lane during childbirth.
Logically, yes. Yeah.
I mean, especially if this golden form, or especially in All-Star form.
Yeah.
I mean,
girl, that because he got a son on Supergirl.
Yeah, and that's gonna be trash. But I mean, this is something that Lex engineered a way for them to do this. So that tells me that if they were to do this naturally, that would destroy Lois. But Lex figured out a way for it to actually happen. So,
and this was Lex's arc in the comic too. He saw himself as being the smartest man on the planet. Why aren't I respected as Superman? Why am I the villain and he the hero?
Mm-hmm.
And so Lex was very bitter and jealous of Superman. And so he had to come to the arc that, you know what, it wasn't the fact that you're just intelligent. It wasn't the fact that he's super strong. It's what you're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually Superman's final labor to help redeem Lex before departing.
Honestly, I don't ever see Lex as redeemable.
Yeah,
but that was the choice of the author.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because honestly, I mean, we can sit for decades and decades and talk about this, but ultimately the fate is going to, I mean, if these two ever met in a comic book, okay, the fate of whichever character would be decided by the comic book writer.
That is correct.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, they're both fantastic characters. They're both extremely overpowered, but who does the comic book? What team is the comic book writer on?
Yeah.
So it's really fun to talk about. And I would love, honestly, I would love to see a legitimate animated movie made out of this. But doesn't Disney own them now?
Oh, they do. They own Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
No, that's
that's not.
That's live action. I think they own a live action right.
Yeah, not the cartoon. I'm talking the live action.
So Disney doesn't own the cartoon.
No.
Okay,
that falls strictly under under Toy.
There's still a potential for like an animated crossover with DC. I would love.
The thing is, this comic actually exists in manga form, I believe. Goku versus Superman, but it wasn't, or it was back when Super Saiyan 3 was the top transformation.
Really?
I hope they do. Bat and the Sun should do this. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be cool.
I mean, they should definitely try doing this again, but now with both of their tiers as high as they can.
Yeah,
so
live action Bat and the Sun.
Yeah,
Bat and the Sun does amazing stuff, man.
But it's also based on the fans too, not actual.
You're right. You're right. But yeah, so if like DC animation, I mean, so because DC worked with Nickelodeon to do Batman and the Ninja Turtle animated movie, so DC could easily work with the company that owns the rights to Dragon Ball and do something, say maybe for DC streaming service or what have you. I mean, I think making a movie, an animated movie with like the highest tiers of both characters' powers, it would just be fascinating to watch as a fan. And whoever wins wins. It's cool. It's cool. I just want to watch the battle because the battle would just be so freaking intense. I mean, this would make the battle between Doomsday and Superman, just look like like a Saturday after the park.
I mean, even that fight between Superman and Doomsday was a multi-tiered fight. I mean, that took place between different towns, that was a fight that spanned miles.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also one of my favorite fights and also one of my favorite eras because at that time, nobody knew or had an origin for Doomsday.
No.
And when them making him a Kryptonian, I don't like that because
I don't either.
The best villains are the ones you know very little about. Joker and Doomsday are two prime examples back when Doomsday had no origin. I mean,
that's why
what's his name in the book? Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, go ahead.
Even what's his name in the book that DN Alien told one of the guys, he's like, I think this is one of Dabney Donovan's creations. And because he was just pure hatred. And even when Cyborg Superman launched him into orbit or lashed him to a meteor and whatnot, at the end of the book, he wakes up. He's awake. And he's laughing in the dead of space where no sound can hear him. And he's like, I'll eventually find somewhere else. And wherever I land, I'll just kill whatever's there.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the way he was portrayed in the original comic book arc is he was just a killing machine. That's what they live for. He was kind of like a mindless.
Basically, did anybody read Hunter Prey here or?
No.
Okay, so basically, Doomsday's origin was that he's not so much Kryptonian as he was basically a group of scientists over 50 years wanted to create the perfect being that could heal from anything. So they found the most hostile and brutal environment in the galaxy, which was Krypton at that time. Took a small child, repeatedly threw him out into that environment to be slaughtered, harvested the DNA, and then basically cloned him and did this regularly several times a day over the course of 50 years. Basically, he had regeneration, he had super strength, he had near invulnerability, he had adaptability, he had evolution, and that was Doomsday.
Wow.
And basically it came to the point where it was basically, what the hell were you guys going to do when he hit this point? Because that's basically what happened. He hit that point like, okay, great, we created the ultimate life form. What now? I don't know.
If you watch Krypton, they show that on there.
Yeah, and the Doomsday they showed on looked really, really good.
On like the Doomsday arc, they show how they did that. What was really funny, it was the House of El and the House of Zod that did it, or the scientists.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this was way back in Krypton's ancient past. And so basically Doomsday somehow found a way off Krypton and basically went through hand that could actually beat him down, but he killed him, but he healed from that. And so they had to imprison him and launch him into the galaxy, which is how he found his way on Earth. But again, he was eventually able to beat his way out of that because this is Doomsday. He evolves from anything.
I still like the original origin that he wasn't connected to Krypton better.
Yeah.
That he was just
the original origin was he had no origin.
Exactly. You didn't know who he was, where he came from.
I like the one with like the Justice League animated series where he was created by Cadmus or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the second attempt at a cartoon movie. Was the Death and Life of Superman and the Reign of the Supermen.
Oh God, that was okay. Superman Doomsday was weird.
Oh, it was so.
Yes, cool. Superman Doomsday was because
I feel like whoever wrote that movie wrote it while being super horny. Like that's what it was. Like everyone was horny.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Red Son yet?
No.
Yes, I have.
Red Son. I need to see it all the way through.
Red Son is awesome. That Batman on there is awesome.
That Batman, yes, but that's also a Soviet Batman. Yeah. That movie made it uncomfortable to watch. I don't know why, but I still liked it. If that makes sense, it's uncomfortable, but I liked it regardless.
I want to see this next one coming out. Was it Apocalypse War? I think it comes out like next week. Dark Side.
Huh.
Is it an animated movie?
Cool.
Yeah, it's called. I just wrote it down the other day.
I still want to see Batman versus
Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Oh, that sounds so good. Orange Hat, which one did you say you want to see?
I want to see or I still haven't seen it, but I want to see Ninja Turtles versus Batman.
That was good. Some of the animation, it's like they didn't animate as many cells or whatever you call it, because the motion looked kind of like iffy in some sequences, but overall, it's if you're a Turtles fan and a Batman fan, it's a must see.
I did not like the way Donatello looked in that movie. He looked freaky.
Yeah, I agree.
I say
read the comic first.
Yeah, I heard the fight between Shredder and Batman was brutal.
Oh, it was good, dude.
The first one, but second time Batman had something for him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Batman. Batman, he adapts. And so if you were if you were ever to give Batman something like a Green Lantern ring or the power of Superman, holy crap!
You seen the Batman?
I thought the comic was far superior than to the animated. The comic was far superior to the animated movie, and the fight between Batman and Shredder was miles better in that comic.
Oh, I'm sure. What were you saying?
By miles.
I said the Batman Japanese was pretty good too.
It wasn't
Batman
bad.
Ninja.
Batman Ninja.
Yeah, he was in old Japan.
Yeah. How you doing, Jane?
Yeah, I liked it, but you got to watch it. But you got to watch it subtitled. You cannot watch it dubbed. It was so bad.
Yeah, I think that was my mistake. I watched it actually dubbed, but the thing I liked about that movie is it shows how Batman adapts. He was taken out of his element, put into this unknown environment, and he's still able to do his thing. So if Batman were to ever have like some form of superpowers, he would be literally the most dangerous character, almost maybe the most dangerous character in the entire DC universe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I saw a clip, I don't know of which movie, it was DC animated, where Green Lantern and Batman were going through a sewer, and he's asking him, what are your super...
Yep.
All right, so that was it, because he's like, what does this do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pickpocketed his ring. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He's like, what does this do?
I had to rewind.
And he's like, "What the
fuck?" It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. It's like the camera pans slowly back to me. It's like, wait a minute, I've changed back.
I know. It's like I just love freaking what he says after. He's like, you won't ever do that again, unless I want to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody says that he has no superpower. It's like, this is his superpower.
His intellect is his power.
His superpower is being a smart.
Yeah.
Even if Bruce Wayne was not a billionaire, he would still be dangerous. He doesn't need his tech. Yeah, it assists him, and maybe he couldn't do some of these great feats that he's done as Batman with all the gadgets. But I mean, just Bruce Wayne in like sweatpants, would be really dangerous.
I mean, there's only one person that I actually think could, or I mean, just take away the Batman element to Bruce Wayne and basically, well, also add a drug habit, but you also basically, it's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, imagine if those two got together. Holy shit.
Speaking of that, have
awesome.
you seen Gotham by Gaslight?
I have.
I have not.
It's not Sherlock Holmes per se, but it's Batman set in the times of Jack the Ripper.
Victorian,
yeah. And so he has to actually solve who Jack the Ripper is and stop him. And it's actually really, really worth a watch.
Who do you think is Batman's equal in DC, Orange Hat?
In DC or in Marvel?
I mean, in Marvel. I'm sorry, in Marvel.
Honestly, I think Tony Stark.
See, I think that a lot of people think that, but
I'm thinking Dr. Doom.
I was going to say
Dr. Doom. When it comes to villains, sure, but when it comes to heroes, definitely, or Stark would be there. But if it comes to any character, or if you're talking any character, Doom.
Yeah, because I mean, Tony Stark, he's learned how to fight a little bit, but you take away the armor, you have a smart mouth, with a lot of money who knows how to fight a little bit. You take away Batman's suit, you still have somebody who has mastered like legitimately every form of martial art.
Yeah.
37
styles of martial arts, I think they said.
I would hate to see Doom and Batman team up for a common enemy.
Oh, Jesus. Doom has no problem wiping out other universes just to make sure that Earth is safe.
Yeah.
I mean, during the whatchamacallit crisis, I forget what they call them. When other Earths came, there was a arc in a game that I played called Marvel's Avengers Alliance, but they also had it in the comics where other Earths were crossing paths.
Was it the Ultimate games?
What's that?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
No, it was Marvel's Avengers Alliance.
Oh, okay.
And these Earths were coming into each other, and hell, honestly, there's one they even introduced a character that's much like Superman. His name's Hyperion. Yeah. I mean, the dude basically looks like Superman, almost down to his freaking eye beams and his strength and everything.
So this
he had red hair.
Except he had red hair.
Is essentially like Marvel's twist on Crisis
of Infinite Earths. Yeah, even down to the freaking red skies.
Yeah.
I think they call him. Oh God.
I think Hyperion was on Ultimate Adventures, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yes, he was. I mean, this guy was a guy that literally survived two Earths colliding with each other. He was literally holding them back with his hands as long as they could until they collapsed around him. And the only way he survived was basically because the collapse caused a universal rift to be torn open, and he escaped through there unconsciously. I am actually going to find out what it's called.
Something
that's like one of the Crisis storylines.
It was what?
It kind of is, but yeah.
There was
I'm looking for it right now.
in Marvel, and I can't remember like very much about it, but this was shortly after Barry Allen had died. Well, maybe not shortly after, but Barry Allen was dead in DC lore. Okay, he had died in Crisis. So in this Marvel comic, this person went around and gathered up all of the speedsters in the Marvel universe, and this person who came from a different Earth. He didn't have any memory of who he was, but he was a speedster, and he ended up being like the fastest of all speedsters.
It sounds like Godspeed.
Well,
isn't that like? Oh.
It was hinted that it was actually it was a wink and a nod that it was actually Barry Allen.
Was he in an all white suit with gold?
No, it was I think it wasn't all that different from like Flash's colors, but it wasn't all white. But yeah, Godspeed would be a definite option. But they didn't say for sure for licensing reasons, that it was Barry Allen, but
that's the next.
It was kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge type thing.
That's gonna be the next speedster in Flash.
Man, I need to see Godspeed.
They should put Godspeed in CW Flash, but they need to do it right because they introduced the white Godspeed.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta private chat here. All right, take it easy, or Mara, if you need to head out. Okie dokie.
Bye, Mara.
All right, yeah.
Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm gonna take care of one, like laundry, family, and then pass out.
Sounds good.
All right, take it easy.
Yep, right.
It got to the point on the Flash, like in the first few seasons, where every villain was a speedster, and I got tired of always being the speedster until we got to the Thinker. And when we got to that stupid character, I was like,
I didn't like the Thinker.
I didn't either.
My favorite season was Savitar.
I didn't like Savitar. I like Zoom the best.
Zoom was cool, but
Zoom was.
But once we got to the Thinker, I was like, please give me another speedster villain. For the love of God, I will never complain.
Reverse Flash, man, he is a pain in his ass. He's always popping back up. He's popped back up this season.
He just tried to pop
he did.
up a few episodes ago, man. I was like, holy crap, this guy is resilient.
I think. Did you see the one with Zod and when Zod and the Flash worked together? He was Flash Zod. Flash Grodd.
Yeah, that was good, man.
That was freaking insane, man. Freaking Flash Grodd. It's like, that is just a nightmare beyond comprehension.
Let me check. Quick question. Are any of y'all watching Clone Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see today's episode?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Oh, not the new stuff. No.
Oh my God, you gotta watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. Today was a very big payoff.
No thanks.
Oh yeah. I'll admit that.
Danny, you're slowly convincing me that I need to get Disney Plus again.
I'm just telling you now, the first 4 episodes of The Bad Batch, I like The Bad Batch. It kind of remind me of the Ninja Turtles a little bit, but the next 4 is really slow. But today's episode, for me, was a big payoff.
The ending was truly a good payoff.
It made me more excited about the series. We only got 4 more episodes.
I've read on certain message boards and comments on YouTube videos that this season of Clone Wars is very much in the spirit of what George Lucas was doing with Clone Wars. Anyway,
I never heard of this Bad Batch. I like them.
Yeah,
they grew on me.
Season 1.
I see. I don't know about that because we know Disney has made changes to these episodes.
Yes.
So the question is, like, how much of this final arc did they change from the original script?
Well, I wasn't saying that this was like, you know, George Lucas verbatim, but you know, it's very very much in the vein.
He has his name on it. Whenever the show's go off, it says produced by George Lucas, so he got some say so in the matter. I don't know how much.
That's cool. What they were called. All right, the thing that from Marvel's kind of Crisis of Infinite Earths, they called them incursions.
Incursions, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I think I've heard the name. I don't remember. I don't recall them. No.
They also did have a because the Marvel's multiverse was becoming too expansive. They basically had a solve all where freaking Doctor Doom solved it, but he basically merged all of the Earths into one, kind of like what they did with Crisis.
Yep.
But he was the ruler of the freaking world until they fixed it there too. I mean, there's just so many freaking parallels.
How very Doom of him to do something.
Yeah.
Like I mean, come on.
I mean,
seriously though, like how amazing would it be? Say, you know, 5-10 years down the road, you know, because technology is getting ridiculous, you know, that we would actually. So the CW, I think they did as best as they could with a TV budget to give you something like Crisis. Okay,
Crisis wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. I actually liked it.
When you think of how expansive and big this story actually should be, you know, in the comic, you know, maybe 5-10 years from now, if they could do something like that, like cinematically, and show it like and have it to be pretty true to the comic book, like we're talking like in the volume of characters, like you like
it would have to be a 3-hour in-game type.
Oh man, yeah.
No way you could get it in 2 hours.
No, I would think maybe it would have to be like a trilogy or something, you know.
Possibly, yeah. This is definitely if you're doing Crisis of Infinite Earths for something like the DCEU, it would have to be like 3 movies at least,
because it was
5
12
movies.
Issues. It was 12 issues, so you could.
I would film it all at one time.
Yeah,
and I release at least 2 parts of it 1 year. I don't want to wait a year between. That's too much time. Maybe one in the winter and one in the summer.
I'm with that.
Yep,
I'm with
definitely.
I don't mind that.
But I mean, even if they did like the Marvel equivalent, you know, of Crisis, just to see something like that of that massive scale cinematically, I understand it would be like a CGI fest with everything else, but as long as the script are, you know, true to the comics, or as true as you can possibly be, and it's like a really good adaptation, man, that would be like a comic book nerd's like dream.
Yeah. It wouldn't have to necessarily be CGI if they do some real practical.
Oh yeah, but I mean, well, yeah.
Some of the powers it would have to be, but some of them, like I would not do another CGI Green Lantern suit ever again.
Oh God, no.
That you would need. They need to do a practical effect. I mean, as crazy as I watched the extended cut of Green Lantern, and as bad as that movie was, I did have it does have some entertainment value.
It does.
None at all. The only part I love was when Sinestro got the yellow ring at the end.
Yeah.
Sinestro,
yes.
Mark Strong, is that his name?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on point as Sinestro. I mean,
he saved the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I miss Michael Clark Duncan. He played a great freaking what's his name?
Kilowog.
Talking about
Kilowog.
Kilowog. It's like, damn, dude, you smell funny.
Yep.
I smell funny.
The thing, that was the movie that was originally intended to kick off the DCEU, not Man of Steel. So, it did so poorly. They're like, oh, well, guess we need to go back to the whole on board.
If HBO,
that's what they actually set up in the CW Arrowverse. They actually have what's his name probably going to be the next Green Lantern.
John Stewart or Diggle.
Yep.
Diggle, yeah.
Well, his father is, or stepfather's last name is Stewart.
Yeah. If HBO Max does that, I will get HBO Max for that.
Oh yeah,
guys, I'll be right back. My computer is having some fits right now.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
They've said, that the HBO Max stuff is supposed to be part of the DCEU, but I've heard conflicting reports recently, so I don't know if they even know what they're doing. But as long as they can make Green Lantern, because the budget on the Green Lantern series is like million some odd dollars per episode.
They have the source material. If they do it like the animated Green Lantern cartoon, they would be just fine.
R.I.P. that it was canceled. It sucked.
Yeah.
I know.
So what was your favorite person to come back in or out of all from DC's or from CW's Crisis of Infinite Earths? What was your favorite nostalgic moment?
To see the table at the end and in the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see when they showed Bleak. I was waiting to see the Wonder Twins come out and say Wonder Twins activate.
They would have done that. Mine was to see Smallville.
Smallville was cool.
I liked that show. That was a good show. Smallville was a different take, but it was still good.
I love Smallville, but for me, I would have to say it was Brandon Routh's Superman, because he was portraying the Christopher Reeve Superman. And I thought that was
his suit. His suit was on point.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that was Kingdom Come Superman. Yeah,
it was.
And then the way they made him fly at the end, like Clark did on like
Christopher Reeve.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was being such a huge Superman fan, and loving the first two Christopher Reeve movies, man. That just got me in my feels.
I was trying to figure out why they let White Canary be at the Justice League table. She's not Justice League. I didn't like that.
Well,
I guess because she's the leader of her team.
I know, but I was like, no.
I know.
As much as I like the Arrowverse, I just don't like the identity politics that they're flooding it with.
I hear that. Like Batwoman.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of Batwoman, but the CW Batwoman is just
exactly.
Awful.
Batwoman in the comic book form is fantastic, but
now when she was on the original Crisis, she was badass.
Yeah,
I don't know why they didn't give her that dark, edgy edge like she had on there. But on her own,
got really annoying.
On her old show, she was like, "Oh God!" Gosh. Especially that episode where she admitted that she was a lesbian. I was like, "Okay."
It's like, why are you pushing this? We already know she's a lesbian.
What does this have to do with her?
Exactly.
Even in that episode, even Luke Fox was like, you just made your target on your back even bigger, because now people know that Kate Kane is a lesbian and that woman is a lesbian, and they both showed up at the same time.
Yep, didn't make sense.
The problem
for villain genius like Lex Luthor to figure that out.
And the only thing that's really saving that show is her sister, and her sister's crazy.
Yeah,
and she's Alice. I'm like, oh God, it's just cringeworthy. I have to watch it because I cover that kind of content on my channel. But I'm like, God.
Yeah, I actually do it. I'm gonna admit I still do watch Batwoman and Supergirl just to see how crazy they were gone. And
did any of you guys see the trailer with Supergirl? Like the guy was doing the slide through the lasers. Like, man.
No, I haven't seen that.
That's great. I think that was like the latest season's trailer, and it was there's like these lasers being fired like through the hallway, and so this dude literally gets on his knees and does a slide, like a football slide, almost like, and he's just like holding out his arms up, like, yeah.
Oh my God!
Interesting.
I watch all the shows only because they do crossover and there's interconnectivity, and I'm a DC fan, so I will put up with the cringe, in the hopes that it will eventually get better. But then Arrow was my go-to show, and
it was.
And then so now we have the Flash, and I want the Flash to still stay on.
The Flash is awesome. I love the Flash.
Yeah.
I loved the Flash, and I still do like the Flash. I mean, they are tapping into identity politics, but like you said, Sean, I can look past it for the most part. When I was watching Supergirl, when Supergirl first came out, it was CBS. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't with the CW yet.
They couldn't afford that $1 million a week.
Yeah,
filming.
And when it started, season 2 is when it started to drop off for me. And this has nothing to do with political alignment. It's just when they started getting overtly political with their stuff, using real world politics to basically push their agenda and whatnot.
The whole alien thing.
They started to shoot themselves in the foot. Because, and I even covered it on my channel before I started getting thumbnails. It's a pre-thumbnail video that's 20 minutes long. Literally, they shot themselves in the foot because they're, as we know, they're left-leaning. That show is a left-leaning political messaging.
Sure.
Now, I don't care what anybody's political leanings are. I mean, that's not an issue with me. I don't mind what you believe in. I agree to disagree. But when they started, season 3 was when they didn't just shoot themselves in the foot. They took a shotgun full 20 or 12 gauge shotgun and just point blank shot themselves in the foot because they brought up the wall. And they say, you got a president who's building a wall. And it's like, their president is a Democrat?
Yeah, this is we turn to this stuff for forms of escapism. We don't want to.
Yeah, and we don't want that. And
weird. But my big
like,
I thought they
usually
saying
the way that these shows do it is very, very annoying.
Yes.
But
what were you saying?
Supergirl is,
I must have got a filter because I don't even listen to that. I look at Supergirl ain't hard to look at.
No, she's not.
I don't mean to sound sexist, right, Kitty? If I am, I apologize. But I filter all that other crap y'all talking about out, and I just watch the show, and that's what I do.
I mean,
but I hear what you're saying.
Is indeed hot.
Oh, she is. But the thing I take grievance with most of all is how their portrayal of Superman has been. You know,
here we go.
They've made Superman basically a jobber for Supergirl. Superman,
they cucked him.
Yeah, I mean, Superman is extremely more powerful than Supergirl in the lore. You know, and he is he's like her little puppy dog in the series. You know,
I mean, that's the. If I may interject 1 second.
Well, if they're from the same family, why is he so much powerful? They got the same.
Because he's been here longer.
Yes, he has been exposed to the yellow sun longer. That is why.
Oh, Lord.
Now, the thing is, what they were saying was, or basically what they did was, they had Supergirl and Superman fight because something happened where he was seeing his worst enemy, and he wasn't holding back and whatnot, and she still beat him, and he's like, that's the thing, Kara. I wasn't holding back, and you still beat me. You are more powerful. And it's like, I understand that the show is about Supergirl, but at least stay consistent with comic origin.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking.
Wasn't that after he was on that planet that he didn't have any powers?
No, that was leading up into Crisis. That's when he I made a clip of it where
Argus
girl and Superman were up in the air, and he just like kind of passed out in the air and felt
that was because he was on Argus for about 9 months having a baby, and he wasn't exposed to the yellow sun.
Yeah, but he should.
This was 3 seasons before that even happened.
Yeah, this didn't have anything to do with that.
I'm talking about what you're talking about. They were shooting. Both of them were shooting their heat vision.
Oh yeah, but and you're right. He was on Argus, but I mean, Superman, can retain the solar radiation in his cells for a long time. This is how he can fly through space, without there having to be yellow suns. I mean, So I don't know what the time frame is, but I mean, just how he he was shooting his X-ray or his heat vision, and he just kind of passed out.
I don't claim to be an expert on Superman and stuff, but I watch these shows now, and I know for a fact on season 1, whatever, I can't think who the bad guy was on Supergirl, but there was one episode, and she really just went all out with her heat beams, and she lost her powers for a few days.
Oh yeah, Red Tornado.
Okay,
or a Red Cyclone.
Okay, the bad guy told her. He said, "I knew you was going to do that because the same thing happened to your cousin in Metropolis one day when he was fighting somebody. So if they go all out with their X-ray, with their heat vision on that show, I'm not saying in the comic book world, but on that particular show, they lose their powers for a few days because they got to recharge." Yeah, and that was said on that show.
And that's
I remember that.
In the show universe, but see, that's where being a comic book fan, I have an issue with these shows. I mean, you're messing with like.
Okay. I know what you're saying, but I'm
lore
in each medium. You got to go with the rules that they provide.
But you're right.
Yes, but they also break their own rules.
They do.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
But that's why I haven't completely tuned out, because I mean, even though they're not playing by the actual blueprints, they're still my characters. So there is a certain amount of.
I'm fairly certain when Superman gets his show that he's going to be really bad, but it's kind of crazy if the girl is if the show is about you and you're the main person, aren't you going to be like on the king and the queen of the hill? That only makes sense to me.
Yeah, you got to be the top tier in your own show. I mean, I get that.
That's why Supergirl gets the nod over Superman. I ain't saying it's right, and I ain't saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that's the logic of the show as I see it.
Yeah,
I don't even know how much difference it's going to make on the Superman and Lois show, because he's going to be dad, and he's essentially going to be neutered. He's going to be a family man.
Come on now, come on.
I mean, the recent episode that they had of Supergirl with Alex kind of diving into those lenses.
That was interesting.
The last one I saw when Mixoplick was on there.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Mix's pelvic.
I tuned out so Supergirl season 2. So
come on, Miss Kitty.
I don't blame you, right? But yeah, I still caught up with it and whatnot, so I could stay up to date with the Arrowverse. And I gotta say, the earliest seasons of each of these shows were their best seasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I do like Zoom. Zoom was a freaking brutal, man, when he first fought Flash. Broke his back, freaking caught lightning, threw it right back, and caught all the bolts and whatnot.
Ran him through the entire city into the police station.
I
mean, it wasn't no joke.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
But Reverse Flash this last season, how he trained Flash's daughter and kind of had her working against the Flash.
Yeah.
And then at the end, destroyed her timeline and killed her in front of Flash.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's figured out that the Flash will help kill the Speed Force. So now Flash got to try and build an artificial Speed Force. I'm curious how they're going to do that.
Yep.
I'm curious too, because that is an interest. I mean,
he said that his daughter,
yeah,
his daughter wrote it down in that book. So some kind of way, him and Cisco and Caitlin going to read the daughter's notes and come up with artificial Speed Force. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but
the thing is, they got to do it without creating a negative.
I gotta bow out.
All right,
I'm sorry,
everybody. Subscribe to Riot Kitty.
Bye.
She does some great stuff.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you,
you
Riot.
too, guys. Bye.
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 And we should actually start wrapping it up. We can continue the conversation in post. But anyway, folks, thank you. Or we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning into the Goku versus Superman and after discussions of other stuff. I mean, guys, and sadly the ladies bowed out. This was a truly good debate. Thank you all for coming on. We got another one coming in 2 weeks, folks. The next one versus stream will be episode 4. It will be Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho versus adult Hokage Naruto from the show Boruto, but it's in the Naruto universe. So I'm still looking for a panel for that one. If you guys know your manga and anime, feel free to hit me up on Twitter to let me know if you want to join that one. And
I have
2
a very
weeks after
loose
that,
knowledge of Naruto, but
I can't help you. I'm way up my depth on that.
Me too.
Now,
Yu Yu
the one after
Hakusho,
that,
I'm up all up on that, but Naruto, much less so.
all right. Now, the one after that is going to be in May, where I'm going to be doing Mandalorian, an army of Mandalorians versus an army of xenomorphs of different species.
Damn.
And that's going to be set for May 8th. And so far we got Ryan Kinnell, we got OG Star Wars, Annihilus B, or Darth Annihilus, and I believe the Ambassador is also going to be on that. So there is one more slot open for that panel. But yes, folks, thank you all for tuning in to Goku versus Superman. I appreciate every single one of you in the chat. There was a lot of people in the chat. I can't call it, or I can't name you all out, but thank you all. Soul Assassin, thank you for being my mod. Thank you for plugging everyone's channels. And everybody, thank you again. And I will leave the rest of the panels to give one final plug for their channel. Comic Chat, you first.
My name is Danny. Comic Chat is my YouTube channel. Comic Chats is my handle. You can find me on Twitter. I have a show on Monday nights called The Chaotic Conversation, where I do rankings and a lot of discussion about the same thing we talk about today. Also, I have a show on Sundays with my buddy Terrence called Equilibrium. Please join us. Check us out. Your support will definitely be appreciated.
All right, Chad.
All right, so you can find me on The Chat is Great. Like I said, due to a recent move, new content was stymied for a while, but I am looking to get back into the game very shortly, hopefully maybe even this weekend with some new content.
Nice.
And Sean?
Yeah, you can find me at Sean Stackhouse Reacts here on YouTube and at Sean Stackhouse on Twitter. On Tuesdays, I have a show called The Chaos List, and Danny is also on that along with Chris Knight. And we usually have 5 or 6 topics that we discuss that are current events, pop culture. We usually try to stay in pop culture arenas. It's kind of hard right now since the breaks are on, all of that arena. But yeah, that's going to be this Tuesday on my channel. So tune in if you want.
All right. And with that, folks,
cool.
If you guys are catching this on the replay, y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know down in the comment section below if you catch this on the replay. Who do you think would win between Goku and Superman? Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews, and I will catch you on the next one. And until then, stay humble. Now.